classmates, let's start off by telling you a little story that happened to me last weekend. I went to the store with my mom to buy the usual stuff like the groceries and everything else. And we were at the hygiene product aisle, and she was like, Viviana, she's like, do you see this? And I went over, and she's like, why is this lotion cheaper than this one? And she's like, is there something different about it? I looked at the ingredients, and the only difference was the labeling. It had everything else. The labeling was different. One said for her, and then the other one said for him. So I was like, what's the point of getting an expensive one just because it says for her? I was like, let's get the guy one. Like, obviously, it was like $2 cheaper, so I was like, yes, $2 more for my pocket. So, by a raise of hands, how many of you all heard of the pink tax before? Okay, I see not many of you. Let me start off by explaining what the pink tax is. According to the University of Madrid, price discrimination by genders is popularized on the media as a pink tax, a wide expression that delivers to extra pricing of certain products targeted to women that are identical or very similar to male products. You may be a bit confused right now, but I'll be explaining in further details. Today we will be discussing about the pros and cons of the pink tax and how it affects the customer's pocket. First of all, let's talk about the pros. First of all, let's talk about the cons of this pink tax. The reason we all pay those taxes is to support for local and state budgets, such as schools, roads, fire departments, and etc. Professor Goldberg from the Economics Psychology School in Lundberg stated that the source of the pink tax may be the women that are willing to pay a higher price because they are attached to quality, and men, on the other hand, tend to be more price sensitive. So as you can see, like everything that goes towards, everything that they take away from the taxes pays for schools or roads to maintain them. So that's like a big thing for them. According to Daniel B. Klein, approximately $2.7 trillion go to local security, Medicaid, unemployment compensation, and etc. Approximately $6 billion go to national defense and government debt. And lastly, $240 billion go to social services and education. This is why we pay taxes. Now let's talk about the pros of Now let's talk about the cons of the taxes. Some cons would be that the pink taxes products tax things like toys, clothing, hygiene products, and they are taxing this to a higher price tax. For example, let's talk about menstrual products. 40 out of 50 states pay sales taxes on these items because they are labeled as luxury and not necessities. These products are already expensive enough, and adding an extra sales tax makes them even more expensive. According to the researcher Becky Kibe, hygiene products have been rejected as medical devices by the FDA. According to her research, the reason they gave was they believe tampons aren't used to be treated, prevent, diagnose an illness. It's funny that some things are taxed, some things aren't taxed, like condoms, Viagra, and lube, because they are seen as a necessity. So here you have like a basic list of how much more a guy and a girl would pay for the similar things. So yeah. And then On this one, it's just the percentage of how much more women pay on this product, and then that's just a chart of another percentage. So it just doesn't affect the woman's pocket, it also affects the men. If you have a daughter or you're the only one who supplies money to the household, according to U.S. News, women pay 42% more than men, as mentioned before. So ultimately, you could be paying up to $500 a month for women products. And then that's just a few examples of similar clothing or toys or readers, how they're priced different. And then that's another one. And it has like the same stuff. It's made out of the same thing. The only thing that changes is the color. That's about it. And even for babies.